Hello everybody, GG Crafter here and welcome back to another video where today I am going to be reviewing KonoSuba Seasons 1 and 2 in one scoop because it's my thoughts on the show. It's one of those animes I wasn't as sure about checking out because I really didn't know what to expect from it, but I gave it a watch. And while the story summary bit of this is literally just going to be like the basics, I'll be diving into Season 1 and 2 spoilers in the spoiler section of this. And so, just to let you know, that's where the Season 1 and 2 thing comes in. So, here goes nothing. So, a basic story summary of the whole setup of the show. A guy named Kazuma dies very embarrassingly. Like, he has one of the most embarrassing deaths you'll ever see of any human being ever. And he gets made fun of by the goddess Aqua. And after that, ends up having a choice to either get sent to a new type of video game-ish medieval world or heaven. And obviously, he wants to go to the medieval world. He's allowed to bring one, thing between a weapon or something else, and in the end he ends up choosing to bring Aqua because of how annoying she was being, and him thinking that bringing Aqua along would give him the easy life, even though she's also a complete idiot and can't do a dang thing. So after that, basically it's a bunch of different stories and stuff where he ends up meeting two other teammates called Darkness and Megamine, who exist. I mean, they're in the show a lot. It's a full cast of characters who have their own times shining on the spotlight. However, I'm just gonna move on to what I disliked about this. It was the way Kazuma acted around his group and their whole personality traits. I thought they were funny personality traits. Like Megamine, she only does explosions, and those can only be cast once a day. So that's kind of hard, and Aqua's pretty much useless, and her only abilities aren't that strong, leading for Kazuma to have to do a lot of the work. And Darkness finds sexual pleasure in getting beaten. Okay, that definitely made me a little more uncomfortable, to say the least. I generally did not care for that aspect of Darkness, and I know that's her main character trait, but it just made everything really awkward for me. I really did not like Darkness at all. When certain events happen, things like that, it all just kind of wounds up in different ways. In general, I just never found Darkness that great of a character. But however, those instances where she does get turned on by pain is kind of funny. I admit there is an event that happened in, I think it was season 2, that I really thought was hilarious when it was Darkness's time to shine. And while every character has their funny moments, in general, there's a couple flaws with the show, such as most of the jokes for me don't tend to land. In fact, most of them just kind of fall flat, but I think I do get a laugh out loud type of moment sometimes, a couple chuckles, but when it does come down to it, it's just kind of It really didn't capture me as much as I was hoping it would. However, I do like Kazuma as a character. Sure, he's a pervert and a complete just butthole, but in general, he's an okay protagonist. I admit his pervy side is a little bit annoying, but he's basically the definition of the one anime protagonist that actually is a pervert, so you don't have to worry as much about having to deal with the fact that he will do perverted things. And that's what kind of irritates me about most animes, that most of the times the main character will get put into a position where whenever somebody walks into a room or does something that's close to sexual, automatically they get beaten up for it, even though it wasn't even their fault. And what kind of made Kazuma stand out is because that was already in his mind. He really did not care about doing perverted things, so it was okay, but in general, just his pervy side really made me uncomfortable because I don't like thinking that way, so seeing him act that way just made me think, dang, dude, you should really just calm down there for a second. You need to just calm down. And there are even episodes of the show that I admit I may have skipped over because of Kazuma acting the way he is. But in general, I like Kazuma, and Megumin is also a fun character. Aqua's just annoying, and in general, sometimes I wonder why her character is even around. But she gets a laugh every now and again. It's more of when she and Kazuma are together in certain situations, because it's really funny seeing him like do all these things that easily get on her nerves, and he's just like, nope, I don't care, moving on. And that's definitely funny. So in spoiler-free thoughts, I think this anime has unique properties and not so unique properties. It once again is an isekai, which those are when someone from our world gets brought to another world. That's one of my favorite genres, as most of my favorite animes I've watched currently are from RE0 to a couple others, Overlord and stuff like that. Even watching this thing called Isekai Quartet that I actually really like. But in general, the whole isekai formula, I love it, but in all honesty, I really don't know how I truly feel about the whole situation. But I thought it was a fun isekai storyline, and I look forward to seeing more of those in the future. I'm about to hop into this, like, the other one called When I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, but I don't know when I'll actually hop onto that, since my main focus is probably Naruto, then One Punch Man. But those aren't, let's not focus on those right now. Why am I talking about those? Wow, I suck at staying on topic. But basically, in spoiler-free thoughts, just saying, I thought it was okay. I did watch both seasons in the same day, and I had fun. I laughed and laughed and stared. Okay, I really didn't get much emotion out of the show compared to other shows, but it still was a kind of funny comedy that I really had a lot of fun watching. But I guess we're just gonna dive into the spoiler section now about, like, moments and stuff that I actually really enjoyed. So I'm gonna count down from 5 here, and if you're still here after that, you're entering the spoiler section, which is where I talk about certain parts from the show that I really liked. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So basically, to start things off, when we meet all the characters, Megumin being all excited to use her explosion, and Darkness getting turned on by the toad slime, stuff like that, it was definitely weird. And I did laugh when Darkness was first introduced, and when Megumin was introduced, I was just like, hey, that's that girl from that app I once saw an ad for. And I paused this thing and lost my train of thought to go watch anime. Anyway, so more talk would definitely be, actually, the one scene that comes to mind that I love to go and rewatch is definitely after where in season 2, Kazuma is in the beginning of the season, like, after being put on trial, ends up being, like, introduced to a way to try to prove that he's not with the Devil King by helping out and doing things to, like, prove his innocence. And basically, after he and Megumin got covered in toad slime, they ended up arguing about who went into the bath first, and to this point where they even point out about how Kazuma is one of those people who believes in gender equality and doesn't care about girls first, which I can at least respect that, because for some reason in shows they either have a tendency to make the girls evil or too wimpy. So like seeing a character who treats everyone like they're all good and everything's just basically completely equal, it makes me happy, because I see way too much of the forced message nowadays where one side's better than the other. Especially, why is there so much women forcing to make it sound like women are better than men stuff nowadays? I generally think, I agree with Kazuma, I think we all should be equal. Nobody should be better than the other. But basically in that scene, while they're the whole scene is hilarious. Them fighting about who gets in the bath first, to the point where their only conclusion was, we'll bathe together. That scene made me laugh really hard. Just like, wow, that's seriously what they did. Holy crap, I was not expecting that. It was really funny and makes me wonder, so was that who they're setting up to be with Kazuma? But I don't know. I'm not one of those people who really ship characters together. While even I admit there are some characters I'd like to see with others, I don't like expect that. I prefer it, but I don't expect it. As my Toradora review kind of talks about, how sometimes I know things are gonna happen, but I don't want them to happen. Still, it was, there's a couple more funny moments. Definitely the Megumin and her rival. How is that the one name I can't remember? Like her rival's name, I cannot remember her rival's name. I'm just, the name will probably pop up on the screen right now, but I can't remember. But basically her and her Megumin and her rival are definitely a funny, like, the whole thing. It's hilarious in my opinion. I still think Aqua was incredibly annoying throughout the entire series, and out of everyone, when Kazuma beats her in rock paper scissors so many times during one episode, I don't know why, but that whole clip is just so satisfying to watch, seeing him automatically just put her down for her constant use of just being such an annoying dumb butt. Like, the whole thing was hilarious to me. But Aqua as a character, probably the most annoying, and I would be happy if they kind of removed her from time to time. In fact, I'd rather see more of Kazuma and Megumin hanging out than I would of him hanging out with the other two, just because out of all three, well, Megumin is kind of just as stupid as the others. She's not completely as stupid. And I wouldn't call Darkness stupid either, but getting turned on by pain is just really weird. Yeah, boy, it was weird to say the least. But yeah, that was all okay in the end. I generally had more moments I liked than I disliked. The series as a whole was still fun to watch, and I'd happily go rewatch the entire series. Although it is kind of sad that they actually released a KonoSuba movie, and I can't watch it because the English dub isn't out yet. And again, I don't care what people say. I am a dub person. I prefer dubbed. And the dub of KonoSuba is great. I really, really like it. However, I really wish the movie would come out already so I could see what the heck everyone's loving about it. Because I really want to see it, and I see clips all over the place that have spoiled parts of the movie for me. And in all honesty, it's just kind of annoying. But it's, in general, if I had to give an opinion on all of the main cast, I find Kazuma funny and kind of goofy, but still really annoying with his perverted side. Megumin, she's a cute character, and I think she's a really funny character. However, I don't know, she seems to have a certain bit of her that I don't really care for, which is the complete over-obsession with explosions to the point where it looks like she gets turned on by explosions, which is probably the case, but I don't know, I just don't like that part of her, but I have to accept it because it's part of the show. But other than that main flaw, I think she's almost one of the best characters. And Darkness, I've already talked about before saying, I think she's weird, and I don't know how I feel about her character. In general, I really just find the moments where she gets turned on by pain really kind of the funny parts. While I admit it's also a weird aspect of her, I definitely think it's some of the funniest stuff I've seen from the show. And Aqua is just Aqua. I can't give an opinion on her without it turning into like a 15-minute video. So, yeah, that's definitely a situation. But I really don't care for Aqua as a character. And the side characters are fine. I find some of them enjoyable. Some of them I really like. The guy with the mask head that he's actually made of mud and dirt and stuff. I find that, I can't remember his name, but I find him a hilarious character, and I really like whenever he's on screen because he's just this weirdo that everyone has to try to listen to, and it's hilarious. But I don't know. The show is definitely good, but not good to the point that it's gonna go beyond like maybe 5 seasons at most. This is probably the highest thing I can lift it to. Just there, it's good. I'll give it that. It's good, but I don't know. I just don't find it as entertaining as I do Sword Art Online, or the one of, I think it was called Is It Okay to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? I think it's what it's called. I don't know. I'm watching that series right now. It's actually really good. Just, it's not grasping me the same way it did other shows did. I could probably go into more detail on it, but let me know if that's just a video people want us. Like, if you want to see me make a video about why I think some shows are more entertaining than others, let me know, because I'm happy to share my thoughts. But yeah, I guess that's what I can really say about in the spoiler section, which really didn't feel much like a spoiler section other than just sharing a few moments. So we're at the conclusion now, and all I can say is, I guess I could say KonoSuba is entertaining, but not entertaining in the way of it being a good story. It's funny, and it's creative, and its characters are likable. However, it doesn't have a story that really goes anywhere at times, and I actually kind of find some of the characters really annoying. And the battles are just kind of intense but anticlimactic at the same time. But I don't know, it's a good series for what it is. However, if I would put it on a top 10 list for like isekai stories I like, it'd probably be around the 9 mark. And I really don't know how I generally feel, but from just judging the whole show as a whole, I'd rate it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was entertaining and fun, even with its lack of full-fledged storytelling. I had a lot of fun watching, and I really think that it's definitely going to go a few places. Would I recommend it? One watch wouldn't hurt, and maybe a rewatch. I'm thinking of going and rewatching because there's a few parts of it I really like. There are also parts I don't care for, but I don't know. It's at least worth one shot, but those are all just my thoughts. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully you'll tune in for the next anime review, which is going to be... Ooh, it's definitely not kid-friendly, to say the least. Peace.